All right, fellas. I just got here. Look at that beautiful sunrise. Just a little while ago, I got to the marsh, and I hadn't really paddled over to the little lake we've discovered in the last couple of trips. And I saw this guy bust on the bank, and I said, well, I know it's not going to be cinematic because we can't see good, but I'm going to pitch one time over there in that general direction. He wasn't far from where he busted. He was just laying there waiting on me. So anyway, thank you guys for showing up today with me and starting this beautiful day out. Oh, that is a beautiful sight, guys. I wish every one of you could get out here in the marsh. Nice calm morning, sun barely up. I know it's dark, but that's okay. That's just the way it is out here for me too. It's dark. But man, this is a good fish. It's a good number one. And like I say, I'm headed over to that lake just to see if they're still up in there. I don't know. There's a red running in the water over there. I've seen two of them. Whenever the first one busted, I saw another one up here. It might have been that one kind of working. So, you know, they may be up there again today, they may not. The main thing is we have a tide that hasn't changed a whole lot. It's going to still be low. I know once the tide gets up, they can go a lot of different places. The more I'm fishing this area, the more I'm understanding why I believe they're there. Because that lake is just a little bit deeper than a lot of the areas around. And so with the tide being up real high, the fish can just feather out in all the other areas. And as the night went on, look at there's a red just bust off. This is the lake. In my last video, on one of my bonus kind of clips, there was just a handful of reds. Well, there's something busted out there. I'm sure it's most likely one of these guys. Whoa. But oh wow, I don't have my, ow, quit. I got me a brand new glove, guys. I gotta go put it on. Me grabbing them by the gills like this, my fingers are so soft. Most people it wouldn't even affect if you have tough skin, but you know, I worked around water my whole life, commercial fishing, whatever, and I kept my hands wet all the time, and my skin is a little thin, and I always end up, I'll show you guys, maybe. Let me see what this guy is. He's almost 24. We're gonna pop him in the box. But anyway, I don't think I need to show you, but on the side of that index finger, it always kind of on this back side, I get a little bit of a rub there in them gill plates inside that kind of shreds my fingers. That's why you see me wear that glove that I had to build myself, because they don't sell one. Most fishing gloves have the fingers cut out, and that will not help me at all. I don't want one with the fingers cut out. I need that covered, this protection just on this one side. This one right up there. Oh guys, I know we're looking into the sun right there, but oh, he knew it was a trick, and I just kept presenting it to him. Finally I put it to it. or he couldn't resist it. He said, I'm just gonna give it one little taste. One little taste, that's all it is. Oh. That's a good one. But I just pulled in this same little lake that we've been in the last 2 trips, and they're not as thick. This is what I expected. Every time they may get a little thinner, but that's okay. They're close. Coming up here, I saw several, and there's still a big one over there with his back out of the water. And I really hadn't looked, but I bet there's plenty to fish with. And oh wow, I'm seeing that they're just tearing it up over there, and that's that little ditch. It's a ditch that goes up in that corner from here, so they're still here. Well, that's what, you know, when I was a guide, and every guide does the same thing, they keep up with the fish. They even go out when they don't have trips, because they need to know where the reds are at, or trout, or whatever they're fishing for. That way, when they get a client, they can go put them on them. And so that's what I'm doing here. But normally in this real shallow water, this extreme shallow water, look at that, they just busted over there like crazy. They might be here still like they were. I think it's about 1 inch or 2 deeper than it was the last couple of trips. The tide is starting to change. This guy is probably going to be too big to take, and I really didn't want to do that. I wanted to get 3 and get out of here real quick, so I don't stir them up too much. And yeah, he's going to be over 28, I believe. You're just a big old smart fella, wasn't you? You wasn't going to take it right away, but yeah, it's in his mouth. It wasn't a foul hook, but it's not past the barb, and if we may lose him. It's just a monster fish to try to get up here like this. You need some kind of help. You need some help. Come here, fella. Come here. All right, that's all the help we needed right there. Look at that brand new glove going to work. Whoa, that's a big old oversized red. I know he's oversized. Why did you pitch at an oversized one? That's probably the biggest red, 31 inches. 31-inch red, guys. He's almost as wide as that board. What are you doing? You're acting like a tourist instead of a... I'm gonna try to get a different kind of screenshot. Bye-bye. Nah, I don't know. We're gonna let the head cam get a different view. All right, I'm leaning the board. Oh, 31-inch red. Bye. Well, that was so much fun, but unproductive. But look at Alright, fellas, did we hook on to one that we can take? I was telling y'all about this little ditch, and there was a big old wad of them right here. It feels deeper. I don't know how deep it is. Oh, he's pulling. He's a puller. Come on, turn. I don't hit that bank that hard. He might be too big too, fellas. Yeah, we not complaining. We got fish. I just was gonna go over to my sister's maybe later, and I wanted to take some fish with me when I went up there, because that's a pretty good drive over to her house, and I didn't want to go just one little old limit. Oh, but I don't know that this fella is gonna be small enough to take. Out of all them 50 fish, and of course it's normally the other way around. I have 50 fish and the littlest one grabs it. I'm not sure the biggest one didn't grab it this time. Alright, we see a little bit of bank right there, so okay, I'm bumping bottom right here, so it's not that deep. Maybe right there to the right it's deeper. We'll check it with a paddle here in a little while whenever whatever happens, happens. There's a lot of drama going on this boat right now, fellas. He don't want to come in, and I want him in. Hey, it's a battle of wheels. And somehow I've seen I got a knot in my string, and I hadn't figured that one out. Not close to the end. It's about, I don't know, 20 yards up the string. I got a literal knot. I can see right at the end. Don't take me too far up here. I don't know what's up there. Well, he don't want to turn. He's just like, no. He's a monster. Oh, don't hit. I don't like it when it makes my boat hit too hard in there. In case of them sharp. I hadn't been seeing them shells against the bank like in some areas that I fish over, not far from here. But that's good, because I don't like it. This boat is really durable on the top and bottom. The sides, not so much. All right, you giving up? You giving up, fella? He might not be as long as I think, but he's big. What's back there? Oh, I tell you, that's amazing when you got new ground you hadn't even looked at. All right, you ready to give it up? Oh yeah, he's a monster again. What was that last one? 31 inches? This might be him. Caught him again. You stupid fish. Don't talk bad about the fish. They're not stupid. You just look at that. Oh, that is a monster. But if it ain't, I didn't even look at the spot on that last one. It ain't him. There's thousands, but just the fact that this one's a little over 31. That one probably was 2. I didn't really look, but to catch 2 of them over 31 in this little tiny water, that is just something. Of course, this one was in a little deeper water, but fella, you ain't making it easy for me to love you. Does anybody know the reference to what movie that came from? You're making it hard for me to love you. Write it in the comments. Let me tell you, you can tell me how old you are just by you saying you watched it. Of course, it might be a classic. You young guys probably watched it too. All right, let me get the camera off my head and kind of look it over. Maybe get a screenshot of one of these fellas. All right, I know y'all kind of get y'all dizzy going around like that. All right, fella, 31 and about an 1/8 inch. Get out of here. I ain't even gonna revive you. You've got more energy than me, fella. Wait, we was gonna go out back that other way. Let's look to see what. Well, it's about 18 inches of water right here. That's a lot of water. Compared to that 6 inches of water that's out there. Let me stand up a second. Oh, there's a nice little, and it goes back up here. All right, fellas, we'll just ease along. I know it. We look in the sun a while, we're dark and bright. Ain't no telling what the video's gonna turn out like, but that was plumb amazing. All right, fellas, let's move on, see what else we can get into. What other drama will happen out here? All right, so I come back out here in this, right out of that ditch, and there was a group that was headed back my way. Again, they want to come home with me. They want to come home. Boy, he's ripping some drag, but I'm hoping he's within range. I need me 3. It's one of them days. This will spoil a person. It'll spoil you so bad. You get into this 3 trips in a row, and then you go out and you have to scratch. Then you're like, what? But I am not lost in that. I know things can turn around. That's why I'm enjoying it while I can, because the conditions for this is rare for this area. Very rare. We don't normally get this low a tide this time of year. We get a little Gulf storm come in like we did last year. It stayed up. The tide stayed up about, I don't know, 14, 15 inches higher than it is now all summer. This area would have been absolutely nothing to me, because even though there's a ton of fish here, they'd be all over this marsh. But this guy's maybe too big again. In case you guys were wondering where all them big old 28 to 30 years been hanging out, they're right here. They're right here. They're in that 6 inches of water. I don't know, this guy might make it. That's the thing, man. Who goes fishing and say, well, you trying to catch one small enough to take? It's when you're on a blow up craft. Yeah, them guys, them 350 horsepower motors wish they could get into this kind of fishing. Oh, yeah. Well, what do we got here? What do we got? Oh, he's 27 inches, 26 and a half. I don't know, guys. I might have to take him. These are the perfect size for the pit. If you put them on a half shell and you grill them on the pit, all that dark meat that stays, they'll stay on the hide and on the shell, and it's just perfect. It almost tastes like crab meat. If you like crab meat, you know what I'm talking about. So, and they ain't a shortage of them, guys. They not here, so I might have to pop them in the box. But anyway, he's a good fish. He's nothing compared to them last two 31 inchers. But he's still a good fish. All right, but let's move on. This video is going to get long, and that's okay. It's action packed, guys. Action packed. All right, see you in a bit. You said what? Yep, I'm the dumb one out of the bunch. Oh yeah, well, you can't help it, feller. You ain't the smartest pickle in the pickle jar, but you're important anyway to me. Oh, he's another good one. Boy, I tell you what, I had a guy tell me that was in the business a lot longer than I was about these here fish. They say, well, mostly he was talking about trout. He said, if you're ever in a school of little bitty trout and that's all you're catching for several casts, you need to move if you want to try to find the keepers, because he said the big ones and little ones don't play good together. Well, that's what it looks like up here, and this is the main school. And these big old rascals, and I don't see many little ones. I know the little ones would be easier to hide under this water than these big ones, but still, I just don't see them running. There's mullet, but I know the difference between a mullet and a red. Most of the time I can pick them out. A mullet will run like a red on occasion, but 90% of the time he'll dart and turn. He won't make that straight run. But when he's just headed out somewhere, sometimes they'll cruise along. This fella may be too big again. All these big old horses. This is a bull run. We got a bull run going on in the middle of summer. I don't think that's the way it's supposed to be. Not a big. I think it's later in the year you're supposed to have, and plus it's supposed to be running out the jetties and whatever, not up in the marshes. Well, I guess they gotta live somewhere during the times they're not running out. They're now figured out where they're at. They're all up here in this one hole. Guys, I'm not trying to make this longer. I'm trying to make it shorter, but we gotta tire him down. We gotta tire him down. I have a feeling I'm gonna have to pitch him back. I don't want to. It's getting late and I'm harassing them longer than I want to in this hole. I want to come back again, and I don't want them. Although they fall back behind me and look like they ain't concerned. It's amazing. So I'll take it as a blessing. You know, when the good Lord wants to bless you, you're gonna be blessed. So I praise the Lord for every time I get a good day like this, and I've been praising him a lot lately, because this is not normal. This is not my normal. Might be you guys' normal, but this ain't my normal. That rascal's a monster again. Could I have 3 of them, 3 oversized reds in one day? I mean, I know if I tried and fished all I could, that would be one thing, but you guys know I don't put that much effort in it. You know, I get 3 and I try to go home most of the time. There's one. Now that's a little smaller one. Hey, that was getting some slack in there. I run him up on the board, and he's an inch past. He's 29 inches long, fellas. 29 inches, fella. Yeah. You just listen to that big old drum. They say they drumming, it's a male. Yeah, I am always by that. You hurting my sore finger even though I got my gloves on. I'm sure glad I got gloves on. All right, fella, here. There, turn upside down. We all know you're faking. I'll give him a bump here in a second. Where you at? He's a man. You tired me out. Well, you ought to be ashamed of yourself if I could tire you out. Yeah, get out of here. Turn over. Turn over. Turn over, fella. They always will anyway. I've watched them before when I you know, dropped one like that, and I stay fishing, watching him, see if he'll catch his breath and take off on his own. And most of the time they'll after a little while they'll do their flip and they'll go. Come here, fella. If I fall off in the water over you, I'm gonna be awfully upset. See, there he goes. That's what they normally do on their own without me bumping them, but I still try to turn them over. We're wore out, fellas. Don't tell me I'm gonna end this video without getting my limit, but I think that's my limit of big old horses. I'm gonna paddle out, and if I run across one, we'll pop it in the bonus section, and if not, I'll just go home with my 2 and I'll be happy as a clam. Anybody be happy as a clam to have 3 oversized reds and several others that were just amazing. All right, fellas, I decided to chunk once time over in this mouth again right after that last fish. I said, well, I'll got to give you guys a bonus. Hopefully there'll be one that's just a little smaller that I can pop in a box and we get on out of here. But it just came alive right here. So They just all piled up right here. And I hate kind of spooking them here because they can spook them on further out, and I want them to stay here. See that big wad right there? I bet they're super lot of fish right there because it's deeper. Out in that water, when you see them like that, well, they can be only so thick. But you get in 4 foot of water, they could be 10,000 pounds of fish there. I know that personal experience. In Green Lake, we could fit 10,000 pounds of fish in 4 foot of water in about a 10 foot wide by 20 foot long sack on the end of our seine. It would hold 10,000 pounds of, we normally caught the carp and look at, they busting all up against there with tails out of the water. So mostly rough fish we sold for crab bait, but yeah, this is a good keeper. This is good number 3. Let's get him on up here. But yeah, so in that little area could be 10,000 pounds of reds. Because I think the water's about 4 foot deep right there, and they're just thick. Oh, it could be 100,000 pounds because I mean it goes all around. So I'm not saying that's how many is there, but I'm just saying that's how much you can put in one area. Of course, we were packing them in there when we funneled them way down from a big seine, but hey, they're about that thick now without anybody funneling them. They're just stacked. That's awesome though. Yeah, you fella, you just right. You feel so little at 22 inches. But we're gonna get out of here, guys. I just thank y'all again. God bless, and we'll see y'all next time. Good Lord willing.